All right, so we are going to read our Super Smart today. Our Super Smart is called Storms Ahead. Go ahead and say the title with me. Storms Ahead by Valerie Lee Schaefer. So this story that we are going to read from our Super Smart is an informational story. Remember that when we read something that is informational, it is nonfiction. Fiction is a story that uses created characters, created places, created settings. Nonfiction would be something that is going to give us information on things that is real, things that happen in real life. And so Storms Ahead is going to be a non-fictional reading. Go ahead and say non-fiction. Perfect. So let's look at the title, Storms Ahead, right over here. So our title, Storms Ahead. What do we think we're going to be learning about in this story or in this reading? We should be learning about storms. And since we might be learning about storms, what do we see that this boy over here is pointing to? What is he pointing to? He's pointing to a map. If we see this behind him, it looks like a map of the United States. And what do we see on the map? What do we see on the map? We see clouds. We see some rain. We see the sun. So it might be sunny over here and it might be rainy and stormy over here on this side, right? So if we look at this page, where have we seen something like this before? If we watch TV or our parents watch TV, maybe something like this comes out on the news, right? Yep, I remember seeing this on the news sometimes when they're going to tell us what the weather is like. Let's go ahead and start our reading. Okay. No matter where you live, there are days when you can look up and see storm clouds forming. Did you ever wonder why that happens? Did you ever wonder what makes storms? Okay. A meteorologist can tell us. Meteorologists study weather. They predict when storms are going to happen. So the author uses the word meteorologist, this word over here, meteorologist. The word meteorologist means a scientist who studies the weather. What can meteorologists help us understand? What can a meteorologist help us understand? They can help us predict when storms are going to happen. So they can pretty much help us understand the weather and what type of weather we'll be getting during the days. So he says, a storm is forming right now. Let's take a look. Let's go ahead and take a look at the storm that is forming. A lot of big rainstorms happen in the spring and summer. Here's why. The hot sun turns water on the ground into warm, moist air, which rises up into the sky. High above the ground, the air is colder. As the warm air rises, it gets colder too. Tiny bits of water come together and drops and bits of ice. A cloud forms. Let's go ahead and see that again. Do we see how that cloud formed right there? Let's watch that one more time. It's super cool. So our question here, what forms when the warm, moist air rises to the sky and gets cold? A cloud forms. That's correct.